Hi, I'm a Susan Storm OTP.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Some of you might think I main her for very specific reasons, but that's not the case. You see, when Marvel Rivals first came out, I was Lucio main in Overwatch. Whilst niche internet micro-celebrity Frogger started playing Iron Fist because he had wall riding, just like Lucio, I bumbled around for about a season in Season 0, and then Invisible Woman came out and I realised she's the boop hero I've been waiting for. Whilst I barely ever get environmental kills with the knockback, there have been a couple of occasions where I've booped enemies off of the point to force a C9, so at the end of the day, I stay winning. I stay winning so much that even though I play this game casually for the most part, I managed to one-trick her all the way into Diamond from Bronze in Season 1. I wasn't even trying, but there you go. Have I made a video like this before? Yes, but A, that was made way back when she first came out and I didn't have the experience that I have on her now. I'm not quite Lord on her yet because I don't play this game 24 hours a day, but I'm getting there. And B, literally nobody watched it. So we're gonna run it back and explain why you should main Invisible Woman, but better this time. First things first, let's talk about her kit. I already somewhat talked about force physics, her boop ability, but as well as pushing enemies away from the fight, you can use it to suck enemies into the fight, which is especially great this season because it looks like we're playing a hard melee meta with the likes of Hulk, Thor, and Cap being the driving force of the team fights. Psionic Vortex is exactly as it says on the tin. It's a damaging vortex that sucks enemies in over time if they don't get out of it. This is a really good crowd control ability because of the radius of it. Sure, it might not deal the best damage, but damage equals ult charge, so if you can get multiple people in it, then it's happy days. Veiled Step is her lunge ability, which casts invisibility and self-healing instantly, allowing you to GTFO the fight if it's looking rough. Her last ability is Guardian Shield, which is, well, a shield. This grants healing over time to nearby allies, as well as serving the normal function of a shield, but if enemies walk through it, they're slowed. Kind of like her ult, which I'll talk about more in depth in a bit when I give you the full breakdown. Now, the way I usually format these kind of videos is by going piece by piece, analysing each individual ability and kind of telling you guys what to do and what not to do with them. So with that being said, let me elaborate on what I've already said about force physics. Not only is it used to push enemies away from the fight, preventing the dive from heroes like Venom, Spider-Man, and Iron Fist, but it can be used to suck enemies into the fight, which is especially great this season because we're going into a heavily melee-focused brawl/dive meta, with the likes of Hulk, Thor, and Cap being the driving force of the teamfights. If there's an enemy who's like half health or around that, you can stop them from running away by pulling them back into the fight, helping your vanguards secure the kill. That's if you don't get the kill yourself. It's surprisingly powerful when used to deal follow-up damage whilst you're out of ammo. The key thing to remember is that you don't have to push enemies away with this ability. It's incredibly easy to just use the ability for the knockback because you want to keep yourself and your teammates alive for as long as possible, but you're a character that heals, so pulling the enemy into the fight whilst they're low can actually help your team more than forcing them to disengage, because it means you're more likely to secure the kill. Plus you can always use your shield to heal your teammate who's right in the center of the fight. Ah yes, Guardian Shield. It's honestly super overlooked because most people just take it at face value as a shield, which, you know, it's fine, but it heals a decent amount, especially when stacked up with your normal healing. What I personally like to do is spam my shield on whoever needs healing rather than whoever needs cover because they're probably in the middle of a fight when they're on critical, meaning I can use the shield to both slow the enemy and heal my teammate at the same time, whilst also giving them a bit of cover to play around and weave through if they want to. It acts as a perfect distraction to the enemy because they're too focused on either pushing up through it or outright breaking it, giving you the perfect opportunity to strike like a viper and send them back to spawn. Alternatively, you yourself could push up into your own shield because it heals you too. You have a fair amount of survivability, but if Veiled Step is on cooldown, you can always use your shield to quickly heal yourself by giving it to an ally that's close by, or just straight up pushing into it if it's safe. Speaking of Veiled Step, it's very good. There's not really much else to say. It's a get out of jail free card from any fight as long as you're not predictable, because not only does it make you invisible, it triggers your passive healing over time instantly, meaning you kinda get a moment to recuperate whilst you're invisible and waiting for your teammates to come back into the fight or your abilities to come off of cooldown. There's really not much else to say about this ability other than use it sparingly and only when you absolutely need to. You don't really need to spam it. I haven't really got a segue into the next section, so time to talk about Psionic Vortex. This is both a great zoning ability and crowd control ability because it's a deployable source of damage that stays active for a few seconds, forcing the enemy team to avoid it like the plague if they don't want to take that unnecessary damage and give you ult charge. As I said, the more people stood in the vortex and taking damage from it, the more ult charge for you because damage equals ult charge. The most important thing to remember is that you can activate the vortex whilst it's traveling. If you press the ability button again, the vortex will stop traveling and stay wherever it is when you press that ability button, meaning you don't have to wait for it to hit a surface or purposely aim it towards the floor to activate. And now, finally, the last ability, well, not really ability because it's her ult, Invisible Boundary. This is good. This is very good. Sure, it gets countered by some abilities and ults, but if they're on cooldown, it offers a bunch of healing to your entire team and suppresses the enemy team because it slows them down if they enter the boundary. This is the trade-off for being able to see everyone inside of the boundary. You yourself have to be in there to see everybody else, otherwise you're basically staring at a brick wall, unless it's your team's invisible boundary. It's a stupidly good ult that allows you to change the direction of the team fight because it practically stops your team from dying thanks to how much healing it does. It doesn't make you and your teammates in, but it's damn near close. But that just about does it for this video. Hopefully now you understand why you should main Invisible Woman because she's still super strong. I think she fares really well in this melee meta because she makes it so that the enemy team can't run away with her force physics. I mean, except from the Thing, because he isn't actually affected by knockback. But it further enables tanks like Hulk and Cap whilst keeping them alive. If you're looking for another strategist to learn, then you have to make it Invisible Woman, unless you already know how to play her. In that case, why did you waste your time with this video if you already know how to play her? You silly goose. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm going to ask you to subscribe and leave a like on this video as it lets me know that you've enjoyed it and want to see more. Finally, have a nice day or night if you're watching this at night, and make sure you check out some of my other videos. Not only will I appreciate it, but you might too.